FYF Sportsman, it's Lamont here. We back. Back with another exposed video. Oh man, these exposed videos been coming more and more frequently, especially when you can catch people live on air just making up stuff and capping for no real reason at all. And again, here at FYF Sports Debates, man, that's what we do. We debunk people, especially when you don't have your facts in order or you just say stuff without knowing what you're talking about. Before we get started, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Again, we drop these videos all the time. If you want to catch all the exposed videos that we drop, make sure you hit that notification bell, hit that subscribe button, and watch for all of our newest videos, because it seems like these exposed videos are going to come more and more frequently, especially when you can catch people capping midstream. I mean, that's the best thing. See, what I like about going on to some of these live streams is, again, people like to say stuff for the crowd and for the moment. And when they can dictate the narrative, they can try to sound right. Now, we just did that a few days ago. We just did that a few days ago when we spoke on the game with Russell Westbrook. We caught people capping about the game. Everything that they said that Russell Westbrook did in the fourth quarter, he did the complete opposite, and we broke down the actual game footage. So today I was in a live stream on Ticket TV. You see his channel up here. Make sure you guys go subscribe to his channel if you haven't done so already. And somehow one of his panelists start talking about Jason Kidd as if he would be a better replacement for the Houston Rockets. So I'm not even going to get into it too much. I'm going to allow you guys to hear exactly what was said. And then we're going to do what I always do. We go to the drawing board. We go to the drawing board to debunk all the lies, the myths, and the false narratives.
No, I'm just saying, the coach is fucking this league up, bro. Because they're giving coaches the job that don't deserve it by being friendly, skin color ways, and all these coaches, like you said. The reason why I'm going to bring this up, because I remember when Milwaukee Bucks, the schmucks was shit water, and they put Jason Kidd over there, and he built their team up to Providence, and you shitted on this man. Now you put him over here where he can't get a job, his voice not being heard, hiding him on the fucking bench. When you see all the shit water coaches out here, because I guess he a brother, you don't want to give him the fucking job. But they gonna reap what they fucking sow, dog. And I can't wait. I promise you I can't wait.
Jason Kidd didn't do shit with the Bucks.
Yeah, he did.
Yes, he did.
Hey, Lamont, you an asshole, bro. Jason Kidd went to the Bucks when they sucked, and when Jason Kidd was with the Bucks, he took them to the playoffs when they wasn't going to the playoffs. He developed Giannis Antetokounmpo when Giannis Antetokounmpo wasn't doing shit before J. Kidd got there. Cut that shit out, bro. You sound stupid. You kill your credibility. We got real NBA people here listening to this stream.
Now, you guys just heard him right there. He said Jason Kidd went to the Bucks. Now, all I said was Jason Kidd was mediocre. Mediocre means subpar. That means below average. I'm not saying complete trash, but he wasn't very good. He was below average. They weren't showing improvement. That's not me saying it. That's what his performance on the court with the team actually showed. But we're gonna get to the drawing board later. All right, the drawing board is gonna reveal all of the facts of this particular issue. What I also want to show you is, as we continue on into this, how, especially when you're trying to sound right in the debate, and again, we're gonna make sure this doesn't happen when we do our live shows. When you try to double down on a false statement, and then you have to make up more false statements to follow it up with to try to keep up the facade that what you're saying is actually right. But I'm gonna go ahead and keep playing.
And you saying dumb shit every fucking night.
It's mediocre.
Bro, you're listen. You're killing yourself every night. Hold on, time out. Time out, you goofy ass nigga. Time out. Cause you a fucking goofball. And I'm gonna disprove that shit you saying right now. Lamont Lame, everybody. That's Lamont fucking Lame. Lame. He's a goddamn liar. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell y'all why right now. Right? Watch this. Jason Kidd coaching record.
Now when he, this is what happens, and because while he's on his diatribe, I've already pulled up Jason Kidd's record. I've already pulled up all the stats on the Bucks, and I pull it up because I want to make sure that everything that he says about the Bucks is going to be factual. So what we're going to do is, while he reads off these stats, we're also going to go to the drawing board as well. Okay, now we got our drawing board. We got our drawing board up right here. All right. Now, before he reads off his stats, and this is where I want to show you how people can manipulate the argument, because at this point in time in the live stream, they're not going to bring me back in, and the reason why they're not going to bring me back in is because once he saw Jason Kidd's coaching record, he knew that I had him, because now you have to try to make the argument that he was actually a really good coach when the coaching record shows that he was terrible. So now we got to figure out, now in his mind things are turning. How can I flip this? How can I play this to make it sound as if I'm right? That's what you have to do at this point in time. Now you got to make up more lies. You got to find a new narrative to try to justify the fact that you're trying to say that Jason Kidd was actually a decent coach. So we're going to go ahead and we got the stats here in front of us. We're going to break down these stats later on our own. But we're going to compare everything that he says to the facts that we see right here.
Pull it up right fucking now. Right? I'm going to pull this shit up right fucking now, his coaching record. And I don't want to hear shit from this lame ass nigga Lamont. Because I remember good and fucking well, when the man went to the Milwaukee Bucks, they sucked, nigga. The year he got to Milwaukee, in 2014, 2015, that man won 41 games and lost 41 games. The year before that, in Milwaukee, hold on now, in the Brooklyn the year before that, he won 44 games and lost 38. The year after that, he went to Milwaukee. Now, let's look at Milwaukee. Let's see what Milwaukee's record was before J. Kidd got there. Like I said, J. Kidd's first year, he was 41-41, finished third in the Central Division, and went to the playoffs. Lost in 6 games to the Chicago Bulls. You know what their record was the year before that? You lying ass son of a bitch. They were 15-67. Somebody smacked Lamont head in the fucking face with the goddamn dilly-dally. You sorry lying son of a bitch. Now all you do is you fucking kill the credibility of your channel, you piece of shit. Now stop doing that over here. You kill your fucking credibility. The year before he took over, they won 17 games.
Now, what now? Now we see Jason Kidd's coaching record right here. When he was with the Brooklyn Nets, he had one average season. When you go 44-38 in the Eastern Conference in 2013 and 2014, that's very average. Looks like they lose in the second round of the playoffs. He then goes to the Milwaukee Bucks. Okay? He then goes to the Milwaukee Bucks, and they have a 500 record. And they lose in the first round of the playoffs. Now, we're going to go back to what I originally said about Jason Kidd. My original statement about Jason Kidd was he was mediocre. His first season with the Bucks in 2014, 2015, 41-41, 500 record, mediocre. All right. Now, below down here, these are the stats of the best player. The best player on that team, who we know is Giannis Antetokounmpo. We're going to look at his stats for 2014-2015. 2014-2015, Giannis Antetokounmpo averaged 12.7 points per game. Okay. So it was okay in a 500 camp. You know, They on a 500 campaign, 41-41, mediocre. Looks like they're showing promise. Okay, now my original statement was that Jason Kidd was mediocre. Now I want you guys to watch how Ticket TV finesses this, because once he speaks on the coaching record, he can't speak on anything else that Jason Kidd's done after 2014, 2015, because as you can see, in 2015 and 2016, Jason Kidd had a 33-49 record. They missed the playoffs. So they actually got worse. See, but you watch how he avoids talking about all of the other bad years that Jason Kidd had, which led to his firing because he was mediocre. And you harp on the 1 year where they were 41-41. And to be a head coach in the NBA, 41-41 is not going to get you another head coaching job, especially the head coaching job of a team like the Houston Rockets, which is what we were originally talking about, that has 2 superstars.
When the man took over, they won 41. Stop saying dumb shit.
How you didn't say his overall coaching record?
No, I'm giving you right now. No, I said when he went to Milwaukee. No.
Now, see, I asked him because I already had his information in front of me, y'all. I said, I called him mediocre already. He said he was going to pull up Jason Kidd's coaching record. Why is Ticket TV avoiding saying Jason Kidd's overall coaching record? If you look at his overall totals right here, for Jason Kidd's career, he has 183 wins and 190 losses in the regular season, below 500 record. And in the playoffs, he's 9-15, below 500 record in the playoffs. That's the definition of mediocrity. So I want to know, where was I wrong in my statement? Now, he said that I lied. I want you guys to say, what was wrong about my statement in saying that Jason Kidd was mediocre? Now, we can say that he was mediocre and then maybe double down on it and say the management didn't put the right pieces around him. Management didn't allow him to pick his assistant coaches. Maybe you can say something like that. But at the end of the day, his coaching record is mediocre. It's below 500 in the regular season and the playoffs. But we're going to continue to watch how Ticket TV, because he tries to control the narrative, as you can see, which, I mean, is his show, so he can control the narrative. But at the end of the day, when you try to do that on me, I got to come back. I got to debunk you, right? Because one thing I can't do in the live stream is I can't beat out the mute button. Once he puts you on mute or once he puts you in timeout, there's nothing more you can say. So all the fans are just not listening to everything he's saying, and they'll actually take it as truth because they won't do their homework.
I'm talking about coaching record, Janet
It's
Jackass.
more losses than wins.
No. I said when he went to Milwaukee. Don't change the topic, bitch. Don't change the topic. What did I say, James? What did I say, LB? Stop trying to move the goalpost, you lying sack of shit. I said when he went to Milwaukee, they won shit. In 2013, 2014, the Milwaukee head coach was Larry Drew. They won 15 games and lost 67 games. The very next year, which was Jay Kidd's first year, they won 41 games and made the playoffs. Get his sorry ass out of here. He don't know shit about basketball. He's a liar to the people. Lamont is a fucking liar. Period. And what did I say? I said he went over there and he developed Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's a fucking fact. That's a fucking fact, he developed Giannis. Because guess what? Before the year, I'm going to tell y'all something. And this is why I told y'all, you can't never listen to Lamont. And I'm going to put that in this list of lies that I got on the video coming out on his lying ass. Right? Now check this out. The year before Jay Kidd took over as coach, I'm going to tell y'all what Giannis Antetokounmpo averaged. The year they won 15 games in 2013, 2014, Giannis Antetokounmpo, y'all, that motherfucker averaged 6.8 points per game. In 2013, 2014. 6.8 points per game, right? The very next year, when Jay Kidd was the coach, the first year, and Giannis was on the bench. Giannis was a bench player that year. The very next year, Giannis Antetokounmpo, because of Jason Kidd, Jay Kidd put Giannis Antetokounmpo in that lineup. In the very next year, Giannis Antetokounmpo was a second leading scorer. Oh, no, excuse me. No, he wasn't. He was a third leading scorer. He averaged 12.7 points per game. So he doubled his average that next year. Then the next year after that, J. Kidd's second year in Milwaukee. J. Kidd's second year in Milwaukee, y'all. What did he do his second year in Milwaukee with Giannis Antetokounmpo? Huh? This nigga Lamont is a habitual professional liar, bro. And I be tired of dudes like this dude, bro. Bro, stop lying, bro. That shit is an embarrassment, bro. Stop fucking lying, man. Everybody in the chat room got Google, motherfucker. The very next year, Giannis averaged 16.9 points per game. So both years under J. Kidd, he improved. Then the third year under J. Kidd. The third year under J. Kidd, y'all. How is he lying? He said that J. Kidd didn't go improve the Milwaukee Bucks team. He's a fucking liar.
Okay. So he said. So the first thing we have to establish now is it's not a head coach's job in the NBA. It's not the head coach's job to develop players. One. And I'll give you some examples of that. So the fact that Giannis Antetokounmpo was actually getting better was probably the responsibility of someone else, probably an assistant or a player development coach. I'll give you an example. Look at the Los Angeles Lakers bench right now. If Jason Kidd was, like if he was so great at developing talent, then why would the Los Angeles Lakers hire Phil Handy? Phil Handy's the best player developmental coach in the world, probably. The Lakers went and hired Phil Handy as an assistant on that staff, specifically for player development, helping players get better year by year. That's what Phil Handy's job is with that team. It's not Jason Kidd's job to develop players. As a head coach in the NBA, it's not your job to go develop players and make them better. Yeah, now when your staff gets them better, it's the head coach's job to then implement them into a system that's going to make them effective in a game. But regards to developing talent, making them better, assistants like Phil Handy do that. If you look at Sacramento, who did Sacramento just hire? The Sacramento Kings just hired a guy by the name of Rico Hines to join that coaching staff. Why would they hire Rico Hines to join that coaching staff? Because Rico Hines is one of the best player development guys in the world, especially over here on the West Coast. This is why you bring in certain people like that, because head coaches have other responsibilities. So to try to say that Jason Kidd is responsible for Giannis Antetokounmpo's development, that's the lie. And if you look at Giannis's numbers have increased every year that he's played NBA basketball with or without Jason Kidd. And if you look at his MVP season, and if you look at what he's doing this season, he was an MVP last year, averaging 27 a game. He increased all of his numbers without Jason Kidd across the board, and he's probably going to be the MVP again this season. So let's not act like Jason Kidd is the reason why Giannis actually got better. It's not a head coach's job to develop players. There's other staff that actually takes care of things like that. That's something minor. That's why you have player development coaches. That's why you have scouts who sit down with players in the offseason. Head coaches don't do that. So now, again, this is about understanding how NBA teams actually operate, something that I'm kind of familiar with. I'm not for sure if Ticket is, because if he was, then this is something that he should know. Or he knows these things, and because he's trying to sound right in the midst of an argument, if he's trying to justify the fact that Jason Kidd actually deserves another chance at being a head coach, Well, you can. He's now trying to just say anything to sound right. It's unfortunate, but that's what's happening at this point in time. I think he might have a little bit more to say that we can easily debunk, and we'll go ahead and break down this stuff later. But let's go ahead and hear what else he has to say.
When J Kidd took over that team, they had 15 wins. When his first year, they won 41 games, made the playoffs. Shut the fuck up. That's how he lying, bitch. And then Giannis Antetokounmpo, the third year with J Kidd, he led the team in scoring.
It's just so funny how he speaks on the first year, 41 and 41. He speaks on the second year, but when he speaks on the second year, he doesn't say anything about that team going 33 and 49 and missing the playoffs, which means as a team they got worse. He doesn't mention that at all. He then skips over to Giannis and says that, oh, in that second or third year, Giannis gets better. Well, yeah, Giannis is going to get better. That's one of the reasons why they drafted him, because he had a lot of potential. And when you see an athlete like that, a 7-footer with guard skills, he already showed what he can do in Greece. You're going to develop that talent. But that's not the head coach's job. You know, they drafted Giannis without Jason Kidd. Larry Drew and that staff saw something in Giannis. So obviously they're going to develop that talent. It doesn't make sense. Like, and again, this is the finesse. The finesse is now you can tell, and you can tell by the way he's talking, because I think he was surprised when he saw the 33 and 49 record that second season. Now, this was something that I just remembered off the top of my head, which is one of the main reasons why I knew Jason Kidd was mediocre. All right. Again, that's all it is. It's not necessarily a bad thing. There could have been a lot of other factors, a lot of other things that were going on in Milwaukee that created a situation where he was actually mediocre. But at the end of the day, his record shows that he was mediocre. That's just the truth of the matter. I mean, I know you guys are in your feelings about certain coaches. I know you guys are heated in the moment right now about Mike D'Antoni. I know you guys want another black head coach in the league. But when Jason Kidd came in, he replaced a black head coach. He took another black head coach's job and didn't do a very good job of that at that. Let's hear what else they got to say. It sounds like more lies and myths are coming. But again, we're going to give him every chance in the world to correct himself. I know for a fact he's not. But we're going to go ahead and hear it out.
Averaged 22.9 points per game. So not only did J Kidd straight up develop that kid. So stop fucking lying, Lamont. You a liar, bro. And you ought to be ashamed.
So he went from saying that Jason Kidd was a great coach with the Bucks to saying that he developed Giannis Antetokounmpo, which he didn't. So earlier he said something about moving the goalpost. If we're talking about a coach's coaching record, if you have to move the goalpost and then start talking about the development of the best player on the team, which is not even the responsibility of the head coach, that's called moving the goalpost. And he knows at this point in time I have him. So at this point in time right here, he can't let me back into the chat. He can't let me back into the chat because I can easily debunk everything he's just said. So again, it's about sounding right, yelling out a whole bunch of stuff that no one else is going to fact check, and just trying to win the argument, win the discussion in the moment, instead of getting the right information out there to the people.
Stand to your fucking self. Son Goku, go ahead. What you got?
Yeah, so it ended right there. So at this point in time, he's already kicked me out the chat. He's replaced me with another panelist. Because as I already said, he can't let me back in the chat because I have the information in front of me. We see how he finessed. He only mentioned the 2014-2015 season where they went 41 and 41. He couldn't say anything about Jason Kidd's coaching record in 2015 and 2016, where Jason Kidd went 33 and 49, didn't even make the playoffs. He didn't say anything about 2016-2017, where they didn't really get much better. They just went back to where they were before. They went 42 and 40, which is not a very good record in the Eastern Conference. they lost in the first round of the playoffs again. So now we already have 2 first-round playoff exits with a guy like Giannis Antetokounmpo on your roster. And then going into the 2017-2018 season, the Bucks got off to a horrible start. We can see their record right here. Their record is 23-22. They're 500 halfway through the season. And that's when the Milwaukee Bucks decided to move on from Jason Kidd and fire him. Why did they fire Jason Kidd? They fired Jason Kidd because the team was not getting any better. The team was not getting any better. Now, if Ticket was honest, he would have conceded this point, and when he pulled it up, he'd have been like, you know what, you're right. Jason Kidd was mediocre. Because again, sometimes we all mess up. Sometimes we don't remember the exact stats. Sometimes we just get caught up in the hype, which is what James did. And you say that Jason Kidd should be the coach of a certain team when Jason Kidd has a horrible coaching track record. And that's just a fact of it. That's just a fact of the matter. His track record coaching has been trash. So overall in Jason Kidd's coaching career, 183 wins, 190 losses. In the playoffs, he's 9-15 in 24 games. 37% winning percentage in the playoffs. So I want you guys to tell me down below in the chat. Do you think that's mediocre? It is 183 wins and 193 losses for your entire coaching career. Is that mediocre? If I'm mistaken on that, please let me know. Because again, when James made his statement about Jason Kidd and how they did him wrong, please tell me how did they do Jason Kidd wrong? Because what happened is so if we look at what the Bucks did immediately after they fired Jason Kidd, we can pull up Mike Budenholzer's. We can pull up his coaching record. And what I'm going to show you really briefly, really quick, is I'm going to show you what he did as soon as Jason Kidd was fired with the same exact team. Okay, so as we can see right here, here's Mike Budenholzer's coaching record. This is Mike Budenholzer's coaching record with the Bucks. Now, he's been a head coach in NBA before. But we don't want to talk. We only want to see what he did when he immediately picked up. And took over the Milwaukee Bucks when he got there. So, when he immediately stepped into that Bucks coaching job. Now, this was a team with Jason Kidd that was mediocre, slightly below 500, 2 first-round playoff exits. That's mediocre. Now, Jason Kidd had 4 years to make this team better. He got fired in the midst of the 2017-2018 season because they were not getting any better. They were 23-22, 45 games into the season, and they were just as bad as they had been all 4 years that Jason Kidd was there. So they fired him. The next year they bring in Mike Budenholzer. What does Mike Budenholzer do with Giannis Antetokounmpo immediately when he gets there? What does he do? Well, in 2018-2019, the Bucks go 60-22. 60-22, number 1 seed in the East, and Mike Budenholzer wins Coach of the Year. In the 2019-20 season, Mike Budenholzer goes 56-17. Now, they definitely did struggle in the playoff bubble. I'll give you that. But when you talk about improving a team, Mike, his first year there, he won Coach of the Year and won 60 games. Jason Kidd never came close to winning 60 games. So when you try to lie like James did and you say that they screwed Jason Kidd over, no, nobody screwed Jason Kidd over. Jason Kidd had 4 years to prove himself. He had 4 years to prove himself, and the team did not get any better. And let's say if Jason Kidd is the responsible for making Giannis Antetokounmpo better, then good. Because what that tells me right there is that he needs to be an assistant coach for the rest of his career, because player development and making individual players better in the NBA, that's an assistant's job. That's a player developmental coach's job. So Ticket TV, if you want to give that to Jason Kidd, then you're essentially assigning him, or you're tasking him as an assistant coach for the rest of his career, because that's what assistants do in the NBA. That's not what a head coach does in the NBA. See, but you can throw stuff like that, or obviously he's gonna side with anything James says. And then because of the time and age that we live in, everybody wants to see these black head coaches get jobs. I mean, the only black head coach that's probably deserving of a job that's actually getting blackballed is Mark Jackson. I mean, we don't know how good of a coach Tyronn Lue is, because as soon as he lost LeBron James, his teams didn't even show any promise. They looked terrible. So this is not like a Eric Spoelstra situation where when you lose LeBron James, you still find a way to coach your team up and they remain competitive. Tyronn Lue didn't do that. Mark Jackson's the only one who's shown the ability to develop a team, to get a team to rally around them and play better. I mean, when you could throw all these other names out there, but if you're going to throw names out there, make sure you don't make a mistake and just start yelling guys out just because it sounds good. Jason Kidd was a great player. He's a Hall of Fame basketball player. But as a head coach, as you guys have already seen, he was mediocre. And I stand on that statement. Not only do I stand on that statement, the facts tell it. And it's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate that Ticket TV, when on his panel, is supposed to be a pretty fair panel, a pretty fair debate stage, where he allows people to voice their opinion. But when they voice their opinion and they're actually right, he kicks them out the chat. He spews a whole bunch of myths out there, and he throws a bunch of false narratives out there to mislead people. But then he also doubles down on it and said people have Google. Because if you have Google, and if anybody in the chat had Google, because they all do, if any of them went to fact check anything that he said, they would have easily saw the information that I just put up there, that Jason Kidd was mediocre in his coaching career in Milwaukee. That's just facts. Hey, but you guys, let me know what you think about Jason Kidd. Do you think he deserves a head coaching job in the NBA? Do you think he deserves another shot? Now, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve another shot. I don't know all of the factors that went into that Milwaukee team, why they never got over the hump with Jason Kidd at the helm. Obviously, there was something that Jason Kidd was missing, because as soon as Mike Budenholzer got there, they became a number one seed in the Eastern Conference, a 60-win team. And Giannis Antetokounmpo became an MVP caliber player just like that. And again, with Mike Budenholzer, Giannis Antetokounmpo has increased all of his stats across the board with Mike Budenholzer, and he's a defensive player of the year, and he's going to win the MVP award. So we're not going to credit Mike Budenholzer with making Giannis better. That's not his job. They have a great staff. They have great player development coaches over there that are helping him get better. That's all it is. That's what their job is. So again, you guys, let me know what you think about this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Again, we just got another great exposed video, man. We always, that's the name of this show, FYF Debates. Again, the name of this show is FYF Debates. You cannot say anything that's non-factual. I mean, sometimes we all mess up and we say stuff that's not factual to a minor degree, but you can't say something that's not factual and then double down on it with more lies. And once you even recognize that you've caught yourself in a really bad situation, you double down on it more by changing the narrative. You just make yourself look silly. But that's what we do here at FYF Sports, man. We just debunk things. So James, there you go about Jason Kidd. Now you're informed. Now you know why Jason Kidd's not a head coach in the NBA. Same with Ticket TV. So again, let's stop with just throwing the fancy names out there. That's not how head coaches are selected in the NBA. All right, it has to be a right fit with the players. It has to be a right fit with the team, the staff. There's so many things that have to fall in place for you to get selected as a head coach in the NBA. And there's only so many jobs out there. So, you know, again, you guys let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We're grinding to 20K subscribers. Hopefully we can get there by the end of the month. Again, the next goal is to get to 100K by the end of the year. But FYF Sports, and we out.